If you're trading crypto right now, more than likely we all have the same goal, to make money. But the harsh reality is that 90% of traders are losing traders, or they are not in profit. And with that in mind, I wanted to show you the strategy that we've been using in our Discord group. Shout out to Green Dot and Moy for taking the time to find this little recipe out. You might have heard this referred to as the money pack strategy, or the money pack crossover, maybe just a Linreg not a Raya crossover, but they all mean the same thing and it's the same similar strategy. And today I'm going to be showing you the basics of that strategy and how you can implement the strategy today. Now we're going to be using 3 indicators today: the standard volume indicator that comes with TradingView, and then we're going to use the Linreg by DGT. This is a free indicator. This is going to be the white line. And the last one is going to be the Not a Raya Watson estimator by Lux Algo. Shout out to Lux Algo for allowing us to use this for free. And I did want to note that a major difference I changed was the LRC color. I changed this to gray. And then I also went down to labels and lines and I took these off. That's why it looks a little bit cleaner. For this, all we're going to need is the LRC line. So the easiest way to think about this crossover strategy: when the green is on top or on the left side, we are bullish. And when we are red on the bottom or on the left side, we are bearish. And there's an interesting relationship that happens when these two cross over. And right now what we're looking at is the entire bull run from Bitcoin from October 8th of 2020. So as you can see, we started this massive move on October 8th. Everything is staying green. We were staying bullish, staying bullish, staying bullish. Now, when we get to around January 9th of 2021, we start to see something interesting. The Not a Raya starts to turn over and it starts to cross over this Linreg line. When it crosses over this Linreg line, you're able to see that it turns red and we're getting this red signal here, as well as the stop sign. This would signal for exhaustion. And once this crosses over, you can see that price comes down rapidly and is able to break into the bearish side of this trend and continues to push down all the way from 41,000 down to 29, 28,000 range, where we see this next Not a Raya that pops up and this starts to turn green again. Now, really depending on what type of trader you are is what kind of entry or exit you would be doing in this situation. If you're a long-term trader, you would have used this as a buy the dip signal. If you're a short-term trader, or if you'd like to trade both sides, you would have taken a profit up here on the long somewhere, gotten into the short, and taken profit in this general area down here after the Not a Raya had turned green. Now, your true confirmation though is these crossovers. This is really what you're looking for. You want to see this crossover happen so that price action can carry with this crossover, because those are going to be the strongest trends that you see. So based on this, we get a crossover and price is able to push up from around 30,000 to test all the way up to around 50,000 on the first impulse move. And then we start to see something interesting happen again. We start to top out, the Not a Raya crosses, but notice that the Not a Raya stays green this whole time while it's in here. That's still showing that there's potential for this trend to continue to move up, and that it's going to start to look for resistances before it's confirmed and starts to actually push down. So your Not a Raya would have told you not only did it not cross on the bullish side again when we started to top out around March and April, but around April 9th it was telling you that we're getting relatively exhausted. And we start to flip red, and then we see this final resistance test and price starts to push back down. Same kind of activity when we're coming down. We push down strong. We get this double bottom support test here, and then we get this energized trend sign at the bottom. Now price still continues to fluctuate on the low side until the Not a Raya is able to cross back over the LRC on the bullish side. And keep in mind that this color stayed red. So because it's staying red, it's signaling that price can still continue to push down. And when we're about to cross over and get into a bearish crossover again, which would have been a really strong push down, the Not a Raya decides to show a green signal right when it's sitting on the LRC line and starts to push back up. And while it's doing that, price comes down, it confirms the support on the LRC, and then we get a nice impulse move, and we bottom out at around 29,000 on July 21st to start this next move that eventually takes us to the all-time high for Bitcoin. Again, price starts to move up. We get this bearish crossover on the Not a Raya. It's not until you get this red signal and we hit this resistance, price comes back down, and we get a green signal here. We get some resistance breaks, and then we start to push back up. So every time this Not a Raya likes to cross over or under the LRC line, that could be used to let you know that a trend is looking to change and that you could be in for a really fun swing trade. That strategy works really well for swing and scalping. Before we get any further, let's talk about how to spot fakeouts in this strategy. So one of the first ways to spot a potential fakeout is when you see price action trying to break the LRC line before the actual Not a Raya crosses over. You see it happen on a couple of occasions, like here for example, where price wants to break out but the Not a Raya is still holding bearish and we end up taking that crash. You see it down here as well where the Not a Raya is starting to turn green. You see it up here as well where the Not a Raya starts to turn red and it looks like price is going to take off, But as you can see, the Nadaraya is bearish and we hold this resistance and comes back down. Now with this strategy, you always want to see the crossover come first, then price action comes second. For example, here you're able to cross over on September 25th and price action doesn't cross until September 30th to October 1st. Over on this side, you get a crossover on February 1st, but you don't actually get a full candlestick crossover until February 7th. And this down here is another great example of a fake out. As you can see, price comes to push down and it looks like we're going to break under, but the Nadaraya says no. And when it starts to move up, you have this price action following suit. So you had a fake out into a strong bullish move. And as you can see, currently we are testing 38,000 on Bitcoin, and you can see that we are testing a potential fake out area. Your Nadaraya is still on top of the LRC, signaling bullish, but your price action actually broke first. So as a trader, I would be looking for a support area or potential support to be adding my DCAs in, to look for a short-term long, and hopefully catch this potential fake out as it comes back up. Now there are two areas that you can actually purchase or that would be considered great buying or selling opportunities when doing this strategy. The first one is going to be buying on the candle that actually crosses after the crossover of the Nadaraya and Linreg LRC. So for example, in this general area on February 8th at around 38,000, down here at around 31,000 on July 20th, in this general area on September 30th and October 1st. These would all be great and safer buying opportunities. Now, if you're looking to buy the dips or getting into a riskier play or looking to, let's say, buy the top or buy the bottom of a trend, ideally what you want to look for is the crossover and the confirmation. So up here, for example, you cross over to the bearish side. Even though we did cross bearish, the color of the Nadaraya maintained green. We get the sell signal, but you can see price takes off. Now, once you can see the red on the Nadaraya, this LRC and Linreg becomes a critical major resistance. So once price starts to hit this Linreg and you can see that it's holding as a resistance, those would be good times to start to DCA your position into shorts. And vice versa on this move down here, you would have had a really nice buying opportunity at around 41,000. Right as the Nadaraya was crossing over bullish, you had a couple days here to acquire a really solid buying spot and test this support hold before price actually took off. And you had a very similar situation happen on July 17th where you had the support hold and you had this bottom test and a chicken leg to test this major support hold and this double bottom long term. That would be a confluence with January 21st. And then the Nadaraya confirms that this was a fake out. We get the support hold and we take off to the races. So the three main things that you want to take away from this is always watch for the crossover first. The safest buying opportunity is when the price is crossing the LRC, and if you see price action trying to break before a Nadaraya or a crossover happens, that is a potential fake out. Now this is only part of the equation as well. We also use a handful of oscillators that help you figure out exactly where the tops and bottoms will be. If you want to learn more about that, please make sure to come join our Discord group and also check out our Trading Academy, where we can talk about this more in depth and go over all the oscillators and things that you can combine that can significantly increase your probabilities of success and in turn will make you a profitable trader. And hopefully everyone has a great morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on wherever you're watching this in the world. If you found anything useful in this video, please make sure to throw a like on the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not already. And we'll catch you on the next video.